when you reach rock bottom and you're like, I have nothing, I am nobody, and I don't deserve to be here. When you get to that point and then you finally lift yourself back up, no one can tell you anything because no one can tell you anything. Hey guys, welcome back to the Mental Health Comic Verse. Welcome if it's your first time here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's your girl, Elektra. So today I want to talk about rebirth, feeling like you're born again. And usually that happens when we hit rock bottom. We're at the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst place in our lives. And there's a huge shift that happens somewhere at rock bottom that causes us to rise through our way of thinking. So what I want to talk about in rebirth is butterfly language, being flying free. This is something that I talk about all the time, that I say all the time, butterfly language, flying free. So where do I get that from? I get that from a quote that says, you cannot speak butterfly language to caterpillar people. My girlfriend the other week said the cutest thing to me. She said, I think I'm still a caterpillar. And that was the most cutest thing ever because there's just so much humility and self-awareness in that. So I want to dive into what it really means to me to be a butterfly and to speak butterfly language and to be fly and free. So to me, rebirth is when your perspective has changed, when it has shifted, and it causes you to experience life in a whole new way. So what does it mean to be a butterfly, to even become a butterfly? So I feel like there's two parts to it. Part number one is just becoming the butterfly. And to me, that step is self-awareness. When I say you're self-aware, I don't just mean our self-sabotaging habits or when things go wrong, but just in general, why we react to things a certain way, whether that's sad, whether that's angry, whatever it is, when we start figuring ourselves out, why we are attracted to toxic people, why we attract certain people in our lives, just all of that good stuff. When we have a shift in perspective and we understand that everything that's happening is happening through our lack of awareness, and we become aware of who we really are and what we're really doing, why we're really doing it, it's a whole different ball game. And you'll know when you've reached it because you just know. It's one of those things, you just know. And all of a sudden, and once you become a butterfly, there's no going back. You can't unsee what you see. You can't unknow what you know. You can't go back. So step one of becoming a butterfly is self-awareness, which sounds simple and easy enough, but the majority of us are caterpillars. Most of us think we're butterflies and we're actually caterpillars, and that just keeps us as caterpillars even longer because we don't realize how much of a caterpillar we really are. This is sounding really bad. Which leads me into saying being a caterpillar or defining yourself, defining someone else as a caterpillar is not an insult. I never mean that to be an insult because I was a caterpillar, and anyone who truly is a butterfly would never look down or belittle anyone who's a caterpillar, because we have been there and we know what it's like, and all we want to do is help others become a butterfly as well, okay? And just because you're a butterfly, does that all of a sudden mean that you're never going to experience troubles? You're never going to be negative? You're never going to get angry? You're never going to have negative emotions? You're never going to this and that? Hell no, no. But you're aware of it, and instead of continuing to be reactive, you get to the core of, why am I reacting negatively this way? And you learn to redirect that energy into a positive one so that you're constantly acting with intention, so that you're constantly in high vibrations. So step one in becoming a butterfly is knowing that you are a butterfly, becoming aware of yourself, becoming aware of your intentions and your reactions and all of that good stuff, and getting to part two. So part two of being a butterfly is being fly and free. And how do you be fly and free? I could sum it up in two words. Be yourself. That's it. Be yourself. But I know it sounds easy, but it's not as easy as it sounds. It's one of those things, okay? This is the part that it's a little harder to reach because you got to put in the effort. Because what is self-awareness without the action? You can be aware all day, every day, but if you're not putting the action towards healing, if you're not putting the action towards what you are being aware of and what you need to change, then nothing's going to be put into motion and you're just aware. You're just a butterfly who's stuck fluttering around the cocoon, around the tree that you blossomed, instead of flourishing, instead of flying off to other destinations and bigger, greater things. You're just flying around the little tree. I mean, let me break it down simply. You want to be fly, be confident, be yourself. You want to be free, be yourself. And a lot of us fool ourselves and trick ourselves into thinking that we are being ourselves when we are not. And that is where the self-awareness takes place. So of course it sounds easy enough, be fly and free, be yourself. But getting there is actually quite the struggle, because step one is awareness, being aware of yourself. And that step can be very hard hitting. It could be a huge pill to swallow. It can be there can be a lot of pills to swallow, and it could be very overwhelming. And accepting that truth, accepting the awareness it's a hard step in itself. And then putting your awareness into action is the hardest step, because that's when you have to change your habits and reform yourself and rebuild yourself. And that can take time. It can be taxing. That's it. It takes time, and it can be taxing, and that can be really overwhelming, and it can put us back into old habits, which can make us feel like we're back into our caterpillar state again. You can become a butterfly and stay at the tree where you blossomed and broke out of your cocoon, but you're still a butterfly. And of course, this is the most important step, because without healing yourself, without getting to the traumatic parts and all that hard work, you're not going to be able to fully fly and fully experience things at the highest vibration and at the highest level that you can, because you're still being held back. And when you're in this stage, give yourself the same type of love you would give someone, whoever you love the most. Think about if they were going through what you're going through, how would you react, and how would you console them? Because often we're really hard on ourselves. We are still human, and you cannot forget that. No matter what type of butterfly you are, no matter what type of alien you think you are, we're still having a human experience. And neglecting the negative side of it, those negative feelings that we have, it just doesn't matter. I'm just going to be happy. You can't bypass the hard stuff. You can't bypass those annoying feelings. You just can't. It sucks, but you just cannot, okay? Because when you bypass the feelings, that's when it gets internalized. You're not dealing with it. It pops back at the most random times, and you're flipping out because you didn't get your pizza on time or some stupid shit. I don't know. That more so sounds like a hangry issue, but you guys, you know what I mean. So I do have a video on being yourself. I probably have to make more of these, because there's just so much to talk about when it comes to being ourselves. I do feel like everything is fear-based. So to sum it all up, speaking butterfly language means having true self-awareness. Number one, it doesn't mean that you're never going to have negative emotions again or experience negative things again. It means that you're aware of yourself. Instead, you feel your emotions, feel it and fuel it, and then you work on understanding your emotions. Why did I feel so sad? Why did I get so angry? And how can I turn this, how can I redirect this energy into positive energy for next time, so I'm not triggered again? Where is this all coming from? Because that's really the goal, is to get all the negative shit, process it, and spew magical, sparkly, positive things. And to be fly and free as that butterfly means being yourself and truly being happy in what you're doing and feeling like you have a purpose and just being fulfilled. That's being fly and free, being yourself, doing what you want, living how you want to. And it's a process. Sometimes you fly away from your cocoon a little bit, but then you come right back. You fly a little bit further. A week later, you come right back. Maybe a month later, you go way, way, way over there, and then you come right back. But eventually, you're going to get to a space where you don't need to come back to your cocoon. You're flying, you're soaring, you're gone, and you're up there. You just have to give yourself that space. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to have low days. Just allow yourself to experience everything that you're experiencing, and know that it's okay. It's okay, baby. You know, it takes time, and you really have to build yourself to get there. And take as much time as you need, and do not beat yourself up, okay? We're often our own worst critics. And when we do take a step backwards, we really beat ourselves up, not realizing how many steps we've already taken forward. And sometimes we have slip-ups, and sometimes We're going to continue to make mistakes. That's just a part of our human experience, okay? The last thing that I want to say is don't get squished by the predators, okay? Just because we were all caterpillars once, it doesn't mean that we all become butterflies. It doesn't mean that it's one or the other. Some people are straight up predators and they're there to snatch your ass and bring you down. Because when people see you being a butterfly flying all the way up there with all those colors, just blinding people with all that love and energy, they want to snatch it. Just like beautiful flowers, people want to capture it and keep it and, ooh, let me have this. Let me obtain this because I can't be up there on that level right now. So let me get that. That's okay. That's okay. Even if you have a broken wing, just keep flying with that broken wing. It'll grow back. It'll grow back. It'll be okay. Because we all get snatched, okay? We all get snatched down at some point. We all get dragged down at some point. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It happens to the best of us, and that's how we learn. It's called life experience. Hello, okay? And of course, we're here to fly with each other and uplift each other and bring each other to greater lengths. But in order for us to do that and vibe off each other in that level, we have to first be that and become that ourselves and be on that level first, right? Right. So that's all I really wanted to say. You know, focus on yourself. Love yourself. Thank you guys again. Stay flying free, and I'll see you guys next time.